Rio has with footstools and just the general combo game with all of his characters, it's going to be a body bag.
But before we get to see that, we're going to have Rio, or Saj versus Ross.
Oh, we're saving the best for last. Got it. Now, Saj for Ross is actually really interesting to think about. Saj's just so done with all of this.
It's been a long day.
True ambition, Saj.
And his opponent.
I like it when he get a big win. I love seeing that slobber just hit you with a face. Just and that burger face when he gets something like here,
Oh.
Jacksonville's own Ross.
Wait, what just happened?
Brand was watching the stream and told me to top looking that good.
I'll put money on it. I'll put money on it right now.
Alright, we're gonna get started here.
Alright. So yeah, this is something that I'm actually really interested to see. Ross, forever a Toon Link main. Now a bit of Cloud, a little bit of Bayo. DMG's finest versus Saj. I mean, Saj is one of those players where he will show up to a tournament and you're like, wait a minute, he's here too? Whatever regional or major that's going on, it's like, oh, this is something that we now have to fight and deal with.
So Ross asking for a game sound.
Forever the diva. No, and it's one of those things where you just got to be used to one thing or the other.
Yeah, switching it up can hurt you a little bit because you get too comfortable in one environment.
Practice like you play and play like you practice.
So we're gonna be looking for a gamepad charger just so we can have game audio.
You know, I'm one of the people that really just usually has my setup down low, and so for me, if I just have some noise canceling headphones, I'm usually good to go. But game audio, obviously, a very helpful thing where you can understand and hear what's going on.
And it helps with a lot of players' reaction times.
Oh, of course. I mean, you've seen I don't know if you've ever seen the Gimmer video about bouncing fish.
Yes.
You know, the audio cues being important with that.
Important.
All right, let me ask. Speaking of reaction times, do you play with Rumble?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm also a Rumble player. I feel like it's something that helps me with like tactical responses when
definitely.
I feel something. Now, I've heard that people don't like Rumble because it'll actually like wear and tear your controller more over time. And I'm just like, wait, what?
So the last encounter these two had was at Coffee Boys, a Tallahassee monthly that Gainesville and Jacksonville frequent. And Saj was able to take the last encounter. It was Peach Cloud. I think it was Game 3 in Winter Semis.
That's another thing to think about. Like, will Saj go Bayo? Will Saj go Peach?
He's going Peach.
Really?
Yeah, he's going Peach, no doubt. He has been working on his Peach
Really?
for so long now, bringing it back up to speed. He hasn't used Bayo too much in bracket, and there are a lot of times where you think, oh, this is the time where you're going to use Bayo, and he's like, nah, I don't need to. And he's right. His Peach is amazing.
That's kind of crazy to
And
think
it's
about.
like really confusing. Like it's hard to understand what like sometimes it becomes obvious what he wants because he starts going for like a lot of fairs or something like that. But in the neutral stance where he's just like floating around you and trying to bait you in, it's really hard to tell what options he has and what he has access to.
Should be very interesting to see for sure.
I would assume the Cloud is coming out from Ross.
I would be very surprised if we.
Yes.
I'd be very surprised to see the Bayo right now from Ross.
Oh, I don't even think that's in question. I mean, it might be. You know, I wouldn't blame him for it. It's not a bad matchup or anything, but I'd be shocked.
I just wouldn't want to use it against someone that knows the character so
yeah,
well.
that's true. And his Cloud, I feel like, has been on fire today.
Beating Tachyon.
No, Rydia.
Rydia, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rydia. Different Pika.
Yeah.
And that was a pop
Wait,
off
did he
to
go?
the hold.
Did he go Cloud? Oh wow.
He got a hard read to close that set too.
Really
Just
good win there.
finished it with a smash. And there's a big man popping off. Let me tell you, that's a big boy. But,
okay, I was about to say he's just resetting his controller, but definitely going for Cloud.
Boy no longer. The man turning 21 this weekend. Ross did. It's his birthday.
21.
21. Do you think he was older or younger?
When he was older.
Same.
Wow.
Thought he was my age, but turns out I'm just old. So we're going to jump right into game 1 here on Smashville. And you called it, sir.
Yeah.
Peach versus Cloud.
And it's not like last time was a blowout. It was very, very contested, and Saj just barely edged it out.
And I feel like this is actually a matchup that favors Cloud, too.
Potentially. I've heard it both ways.
Really?
Yeah.
I think in this scenario, of course, it's going to come down to really who gets the momentum started, which, as we see right now, is all in Saj's favor. Quick 60, 72 now to 0.
Just keeping Ross in disadvantage. His ledge trapping's been really, really on point early on. And his conversions, just the same.
And we do see finally the first 3% done by Ross in about 30 seconds in.
Goes extra high just to call out that double jump. That was really good from Ross. And now trying to maybe set up a wall or just get a combo started to put some damage on is Ross.
And we just see a lot of empty hops and a lot of empty floats from Saj right now. Baiting out movement. Oh my God.
Going high. Possibly not even intentional, but that turnip placed right in a perfect line where you can't just drift to ledge. You have to either have your double jump or expend your limit.
This is top 8, baby. You don't get anything for free.
Yeah.
Especially in winner side like this. We do see some nice continuous hits here from Ross.
Yeah, Ross bringing this back.
Maybe able to close out the stock pretty soon.
Ooh.
Oh, going for some shenanigans
this
there.
Could be bad.
Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it.
Oh, wow. He got 2 frames. Interesting. I wonder when that happened. Because it looked like he was definitely stuck there in a bad loop. Nice trump there.
And he's dead. Oh, no. Saj doesn't finish it there.
Yeah. But still, Saj in a really, really good spot here.
Yeah, for a while there, we saw Ross sitting at 0 in his second stock. And, you know, was looking like he was potentially going to close out that stock. And now Saj has basically done 70% unanswered. And
I really like that that spot dodge Saj had on one of those back airs that Ross was throwing out there, because that's just an easy way to avoid your shield getting smaller. And as you saw there, Ross went for a cross slash. And if Saj had taken too much shield damage, that shield might be broken. So.
All right, now we see the reverse happening. Saj hasn't been able to put on any damage in quite a bit, but he hasn't taken too much either.
Very footsies based here. Nice tomahawk grab there. The delay, I like it.
Yeah, super low with the toad.
Oh, and this time recognizes he's going high and pulls back early to use his turnip in a better spot.
It's been really tough. Sauce really just has had all the answers in this game 1.
And these turnip placements have been perfect every time. Every time.
Dead shot, baby.
You're going to go to ledge here this time. You're going to jump high to avoid that same situation this time. I'm going to throw it right at you. You're going to double jump right into it. That was just a really, really cognizant series of events there for Saj.
We hear Tommy talking ill of someone in the crowd right now. I'm not sure if that was actually Ross or Saj.
Or someone else in the crowd.
Perhaps. Perhaps.
More than likely.
You have no idea who will draw his ire.
Now the Battlefield pick, I definitely agree with for Ross. Battlefield, or the tri-platform in general, really strong for Cloud. As you get to like position yourself, you get to like trap your opponent underneath that platform. Where most people want to be utilizing those platforms to avoid being approached from the air, Ross can set up a wall of back airs right next to the platform, and you have no way out because he can react to you going high.
And then, of course, as you come down, you have an up air basically the size of a platform. You know, making this so difficult. And you talk about it, and it's already seeing it play out in front of us. This is going extremely well for Ross at the moment.
Saj trying to answer back. Ross not phased. Just completely gets out of the situation entirely. I really like that.
I know, and sometimes that's the best thing. You know, you have so many times where you try to obviously contest something right at the point of attack, and sometimes it's better just to go back to neutral and just reset and see who wins the next exchange.
And I really like Ross has been going for these tomahawks, but Saj got hit by one, and he's been really good to avoid them since.
Wonder Bread, where did his limit go?
I think he expended it, trying to either blade beam or up beam.
And unfortunately, because of that, Ross loses that momentum, and Saj actually closes out the first stop.
That power, or that perfect shield, definitely coming in clutch there.
You see Saj actually trying to set up that quick little footstool scenario using the down tilt.
That's a lot of potential damage.
Wasn't able to get in range for it. Saw got the first half of it there, too, with the turn-up drop into the back air, but wasn't able to continue it.
I really like Saj's evasiveness here. Just playing right outside Ross's range. And anytime Ross tries to come in and combat him, he has a perfect answer to it. A little bit of a stalemate there.
Yeah, both players not wanting to overcommit to anything. And that's something we've seen really here more than we've seen in the first two sets, is that the commitment to defensive options are there.
Yeah.
Really, really smart counterplay every time. And while it hasn't really worked out in Ross's favor when it comes to really stock collection, he's done a very good job of not overcommitting and putting himself in terrible situations. Saj, unfortunately, just kind of putting on a clinic right now.
I really like the item play from Saj. Not clear as to when he's actually going to go in with it. It looks like he put that turnip right there just to cover a roll. And that's something that's been really great about Saj, just the option coverage.
And just every time we've seen an answer, steps back, you know he's not in a position to actually punish that cross slash. Just a single jab now too, man. This is looking rough.
Yeah.
Saj's movement is just so good right now.
Really good patience. And Ross, trying to find an answer. Oh my god. The no tech into the immediate nair. Tries to get the the toad. No jump. Oh, that's bad.
Rinse, wash, and repeat. No, actually lets him back.
Ross keeps dropping his up airs, it seems. Oh, yeah, that's bad. That's unfortunate. It looked like he was just dropping his drop from ledge level jump up air. He's just getting capped by the stage. It's possible that's just because the stage's sides or the ledges are different.
The left side of Battlefield is actually bad.
Yeah, it's wonky.
It's something that should have been fixed in initial programming and just never got touched.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that's just so weird, and it's been throughout the course of Smash 4. You know, bouncing fish off the side of that stage, off of that side of the stage is very weird. A lot of recoveries are affected by how that stage actually slopes. And we saw it right there. I mean, just wasn't able to really get over the lip. And up air from ledge, not exactly the greatest of options, especially when someone is ready for it like Saj was. But it's one of those things where you can still usually protect yourself enough to, get out of a bad situation. I love the cameras we've got going for this.
We might see
this
a
picture-in-picture is so nice. Let me see that Toon Link.
He's definitely considering it. That's definitely been what's on his mind so far. A Meta Knight counter pick. We've never seen it from Ross, but it's not the craziest thing I've heard.
Unfortunately, though, as much as Saj has been practicing and playing Peach, I think this is something that he would have prepared for, of course.
That's true.
It's one thing where you have to kind of expect it.
The thing is, we don't have that we don't have Meta Knights at all actually in Gainesville.
No.
So he doesn't have anyone to prepare with locally. We see the Toon Link coming out. More of a comfort, his main, or his go-to at least.
The OG.
Oh, but the Meta Knight, no, he's committing to it. I respect it.
And using the Lindor Truffle one too, I like it. Like the white Meta Knight. So yeah, this is interesting because Meta Knight's not really a character that you can pocket, but Meta Knight versus Peach is not a matchup you really have to be that well versed in. I have a lot of experience in what Meta Knight can do against floaty characters in Rosa, and it's one of the things where once it starts happening, you just kind of have to put your controller down and go, well, this is my life now.
I think the distinction between this matchup and Rosa's is that Peach's combo game is just extremely good on Meta Knight. His weight is perfect for comboing, and he can take up a lot of damage really quickly. And he's not exactly heavy, so getting hit by fair, 60 by the stage?
Yeah, it's definitely risky. And it's one of those things, it's this trade-off. Peach has the good combo game, and Rosa has the combo breaker, potentially in Luma. But I mean, Saj is just not even remotely concerned about this counter pick right now. But he's not out of the woods yet. This is one that up B string obviously works for a very long time. It's really only until Peach starts taking damage that the up air string stops working. Rage is only going to help him at these low percents. At least with Rosa, once Rosa's past the 40%-ish range, you don't really have to concern about it as much. But it's one of those things where once they're outside of the range for the up airs, you can camp Meta Knight really hard. Meta Knight's neutral is not the greatest.
No, air dodge is right out.
Most of the time, Meta Knight is going to be really shut down somewhere in between dash attack and dash grab, and obviously some hard reads after that, but he just doesn't really have a lot of great approach options outside of that.
really slow-paced game here compared to the other two that we had, where there was explosive punishes. Nair not setting the right way, or the way at least Saj wanted, but Saj is just playing around the burst options that Meta Knight offers really well. He's either setting up a wall or he's just outright running away from it and responding appropriately.
It's been really great placements too. Meta Knight's dash attack extremely disjointed and puts the bear right at the edge of the dash attack. Fun fact, are you aware of the fact that Meta Knight's backer has the same knockback as ZS's boost kick?
I believe it.
It's ridiculous. Oof.
Barely whiffs on that normal getup. A good read there, but just slightly off.
And this really has just played into Saj's tempo, just like every other game before it, where it's, I'm going to take the lead, and I'm going to force you to approach, and then I'm just going to really just work around the buttons that you choose. We got to see the dot eye here.
Tries to ledge trap with it, but Ross isn't about it. And you know, there still is a danger territory for Saj. He needs to secure the stock pretty soon.
Yeah, dash attack up B.
Oh yeah, that's it.
No,
wow,
it's not from, not
DI.
from center stage, unfortunately. Dash attack up B is a concern.
It reads the roll, but Ross mixes him up even.
Good TI in the dash attack away. You see Ross getting a little bit antsy for it now. And a single jab.
And I love the gameplay here from Saj. She's playing right at that ledge.
Still not able to take it. We're already halfway into this match and the stock has not been taken yet. That will do it though.
No, not quite.
Even at 165, he refuses to die.
Catches the loop of the shuttle loop there. With that turn it. And one throw attack, I think, at this point from Saj will do it. So Ross has to be really careful about how he approaches. But he's got Saj in a good spot. Saj mixes it up that time with the roll. I feel like a downer would have killed if it actually connected there. So
I'm actually really curious if he could just do a shuttle loop from the stage and be done with it. Opting to jab there instead of using throws to finish. 200 now.
This is a really scary spot here for Saj.
No, way out. Back air potentially at the ledge would be able to do it.
I would think feasibly even. Oh yeah, that well-spaced back air, enough pushback there to not get the shield grabbed.
And now we're looking at a minute 45, and this might just be out of reach for Ross.
Ross has something to say about that. Goes for the ledge grab or the edge guard this time. Saj actually permits it, dipping low as opposed to always going high. Probably out of respect to the shuttle loop threat. Wow, that downer just completely beating out the dash attack. Not enough.
Yeah, and he just does it from center stage too. It's really unfortunate. That's what makes it so potent in these matchups, is the fact that you're able to start it so high. Wow.
Yeah, Saj had to dip low there to avoid getting punished for his air dodge.
And we saw him actually even stall out longer
Yeah,
with the
looking
umbrella.
like he might be playing to the timer.
But I mean, it doesn't have enough lead to do it though.
But it is Peach, and the potential to grow that lead is there. So maybe playing to the timer and then getting that lead isn't the worst decision. And as we saw earlier, she's playing around all of Ross's approaches really well, aware of the range of the burst, or of the burst options.
Down to 45 seconds now. There's not a huge difference in percent at the moment, just 26.
Ooh.
Wow, it doesn't continue the jumps from it. Maybe not in position for it. I'm not exactly sure when it starts. I know when it ends. No.
Unfortunate, the platform interrupting that.
And now the lead only down to 2.
Yeah, this is a very even game. Ross brought this all the way back with the survivability.
Yeah, Ross may be able to steal one here. Now takes the lead from it.
Oh, he's pushing the advantage. And now he's playing to the
15
lead.
seconds.
Whoa. Yeah, that's probably going to seal it.
That will
unless
most likely be enough.
A fair could come into play.
Does fair do 18?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow, Ross with the slight pop-off was able to really just kind of steal one there, living to past 200%.
200%, yeah, that's with the kill power on so many of Peach's straight hits, I think that's an accomplishment itself, let alone taking a game off Saj.
If I had told you that Ross had went Meta Knight
I would not be believed you.
And won a game, and then told you to guess how he won, it would not be timeout.
That's
it would
so
not
true.
be timeout. It would be, Oh, up air, up air, up air, up air, up air, up air. Shuttle loop. No, 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 friend. He lived 2 and some change and was just like, nah, I'm good. That's crazy. That is crazy. And it's sticking it out too. Saj, however,
Unfazed.
has anything ever faced Saj? Like I feel like every time I see him in the player game, he's always just so calm and cool about everything. Even at tournaments, you know, you don't see a whole lot of
Expression.
range of emotion from him. Yeah, no, like it's just always just a blank slate from Saj. You don't really get too much of a read off the guy.
You'll see the shift in playstyle from Saj just to combat this Meta Knight. Perhaps playing more passively even.
And that's always such a risk because it's like we said when you initially picked Meta Knight, the up air strings on Peach aren't hard to do.
Yeah.
It's literally just getting that initial hit. And it's twice now he's let that drop. Something that must be kept in mind, though, is playing towards the ledge. I know you've mentioned a little bit with Peach, and the reason that's so important is even if Ross was able to connect with these upper strings and shuttle loop, if he goes too far off of it, it actually can just result in a stock trade, which is going to be very, very beneficial for, obviously, the losing party.
And that's the beauty of FZ especially. There's no Smashville platform or Tower City platform coming in to save Ross. So Ross does run that risk every time he goes off stage with it. Nice drift back to ledge. Saj unfazed again. Doesn't give him an air dodge whatsoever. Unless he knows it'll actually be a worth commitment.
And that's something that I've always been impressed by from Saj is just how strong of a defensive player he is. Good in air there.
Still has a double jump. Great side view. I actually don't think we've seen that once this entire set.
This is obviously a very, very close game right now, 89-74. You know, we see the dash attack becoming more and more of a threat as these percent rises. Good wrap
solid response to that jab on shield. Yeah, I guess the air dodge read. That is not enough.
You might be able to just fall back out there and do it, though. Yeah, just like that.
Wow.
He's going to be able to do it a third time, perhaps?
I highly doubt he wanted that ledge grab there. He probably just wanted to dip low again. And Saj this time going high, you know, trying to mix him up.
All right, so for the first time, really, outside of...
Wow, the DI mix up.
Whoa.
That was really, definitely caught him off guard there.
No, I was just about to say, for the first time, besides the timeout, we see Ross take a lead.
Yeah.
But Saj not having any of it.
Misreads the tech roll, or I mean, just the get-up option.
Saj continuing to recover high now, not really risking the air dodge scenario. Said, you got me twice with that back air and you weren't able to close it. I'm not going to give you an opportunity for the third time. Should be a big punish on this.
That time, Ross looking to just call out a float. I like the idea. Definitely trying to keep Saj on his toes, but he unfortunately just misread the pattern, if there even is a pattern.
That's what makes Peach so scary, is that they're really... It's almost impossible to find a set range of motion for her where you expect in certain situations. You know, whether or not they're going to commit to a float. If they commit to the float, how long do they float? Do they just float and immediately cancel it? You know, there's so much stuff. Where you basically just have to guess right, you know, and if you guess right, obviously you're going to win the exchange and, you know, get some form of extended punish off of it. But for the most part, Peach can really just outthink you.
Yeah. I really like these, look like boost grabs out of the movement that Saj is offering with his floats. That's definitely not going to connect into that, but the back air will. Good patience from Ross.
Finally enough to do it. We don't see any craziness right now, just 130, and Saj just waiting him out on the spawn platform. Now I'm a little bit curious, as much as we've seen of Saj's Peach lately, that we didn't see the character switch.
It couldn't have hurt, but he knows he can get that with Peach.
Sure. And it's one of those things where, like, really, Game 3 was his to lose.
Yes.
See right now, just incredibly patient play from both players.
Drops it again.
I believe now with the Rage, it's actually not going to be as effective.
Gotcha.
You're not going to get the full string of it, at least. And this is where things get really tough because, you know, I mentioned in game 2 that Meta Knight's neutral game is not the strongest, so it's going to be really difficult for Ross to actually get those stray hits that he needs to either build this damage back up or even to actually just get a raw kill. We're looking at 90 seconds right now on this.
Almost rolls into that forward air.
Now from roll position, I don't believe a fair will kill just yet. This
Air
could
dodge
be
might have
very
been
bad.
bad.
It's not going to be
No.
enough, and he
Still-
might fall to his
oh.
death. Yep.
Wow.
I was,
And
I was,
like we
I was
said-
a little bit concerned from the position he was
Yeah.
at. That was going to be really rough. Maybe another up air would have been enough to seal it. Would that other next up air would have connected? You see a smattering of applause come from the crowd right now. Wonder Bread smacks the microphone in appreciation. You got one left.
So I'm going to be hopping
You've
off,
got,
guys.
no, you've got one left. It's